The beginner warm-up is where we go through the foundational instructions to get a good solid base for your practice. It's a good place to start, and it's a good place to come back to every once in a while to solidify the foundations. Listen to the rhythm of your breathing. If you find it getting short, take a break, leave out a few postures, and come back in when you're ready. Remember, this is your practice. You choose how much of it you want to do. Let's start with the spread leg child's pose. Knees wide apart, toes fairly close together. Try to sit back comfortably onto the back of the heels without aggravating the knees, and start to make your way forward, down onto your elbows maybe, resting forehead on your fists if you need to as a platform, or hands out, forehead down to the mat. The idea here is to try to relax and rest into this first posture. So let go of the body. Just sink down into the mat. Start to bring your attention inwards, letting go of any distractions that are going on in your head, and focusing your attention on your body and breath. And rather than a shallow breath to the center of the chest, start to take the breath a little bit deeper down into the pelvic bowl. So allow the belly to expand, the rib cage to expand, the chest to expand, so it's a nice deep inhalation. And allow the exhale to relax and sink you down a little bit more. Deep inhales to stretch and expand the body from the inside. Relaxed exhales, just sinking and resting and letting go. Letting go being the key concept here. Just letting go, giving up control to the body. Let time, gravity, and your exhale do the work for you. And just pay attention to whatever's going on inside today. Just pay attention, but without adding your own dialogue to the equation. Without trying to label the sensations as good or bad. Without judging or criticizing the sensations or the experience itself. Just accepting whatever's going on. Relaxing into it with your breath. Spending a little bit of time there and just letting go. Deep inhales. Relaxed exhalations. Let's take 5 more deep breaths here. Make them count. Expand the belly, the chest, the rib cage, the collarbones. And then slowly walk the hands in, help the spine up, make your way out of the pose. Feel free to make any noises as you feel the connective tissues settling back in. Knees come back in together, make your way up into the table position, and maybe stretch out the legs if you need to. And anytime you have your hands on the floor like table position, you want to make sure that the knuckles and fingertips are grounded. So you want to push knuckles into the mat, fingers separated, so the entire palm is connecting to the mat. Shoulders back. We're going to come into some cat-cow movements, starting off with a neutral spine. Inhaling, gazing up towards the ceiling as you curl the tailbone up. Exhale, tuck the chin into the chest, round the spine, tailbone tucking down as well. Inhale, shoulders back, belly down, tailbone up. Exhale, palms pushing forward into the mat so you can round the spine a little bit more. Inhale up, belly down, tailbone curling up. Exhale, round the back, squeeze out all the air. Take a few more rounds at your own pace. Follow the breath. Maybe even holding one of the positions if you needed to. breathing into it a little bit if that's what your body needs. Take a few more rounds. And on the next inhale, come to a neutral spine, back of the neck long. Take the palms out in front a little bit further, ground the knuckles, curl the toes under, and on the next exhale, lift the hips up and back into downward dog. And then, rolling the shoulders out away from the ears, keeping the shoulder blades separated, and then pushing from the shoulders into the mat as if you're trying to move it away from you. Hips drawing as far back as you can to get as much length as possible in the spine. Neck is soft, face is soft, jaw is relaxed. A great way to keep the jaw relaxed is to smile. Actively pushing from the shoulders into the palms so you can get that rebounding energy from the floor to draw all the way back up to reach your hips a little further. Heels starting to sink down a little bit, but not too hard until we've warmed the body up. Taking a few more breaths in the down dog and feeling the stretch that's made down the entire back line of the body. At the end of the next exhale, bend both the knees, gaze between the hands, and lunge right foot forward first between the hands. Then the left foot comes forward, big toes side by side. Inhale up halfway, lengthen heart away from navel, placing the hands on shins or thighs. We want to avoid rounding the back here, so shoulders back, heart reaching out away from the navel, sits bones lifting up. And just hold it here, every inhale lengthening the spine a little more, legs supporting the pose, not the arms. Sits bones lifting, and you'll feel a stretch in the back of the legs here, even without having to fold forward. So in the sun salutations, when we say lift up halfway, we're looking for a straight spine here. Legs nice and strong, pushing into the four corners of the feet as you inhale, reach the heart out. Exhale, fold forward, taking it down, not too hard yet. And then head lifting back up to straighten out. Inhale, spin the arms open, gaze up between the thumbs as you reach up into the fingers. Exhale, hands to the side. Let's hold the mountain pose here a little bit. Big toes together, separate the toes if you can. Pressing from the pelvis down into the four corners of the feet. Tailbone pointing down to the mat rather than too far out behind you. Now inhale, draw the shoulders up to the ears, reach them up. And then exhale back a little bit and just let them release down the spine. So they're just relaxing rather than squeezing back together, so both chest and back are open. Every inhale now lengthen and lift the spine up. Every exhale, see if the shoulders can relax a little bit more. Deep inhales to lengthen and lift up. Relaxed exhales to let the shoulders rest. It's always nice to take a few grounding breaths before we come into the sun salutations. Getting ready to come into our first round now, pushing from the pelvis into the four corners of the feet. Inhale, spin the arms open, gaze up between the thumbs. Keep the legs strong as you exhale, reach out with the chest as you fold forward, legs still active. Inhale up halfway, lengthen heart away from navel, shoulders back. Bring the hands to the mat. Walk the feet back one at a time to the upper push-up position. Start off with the shoulders roughly above the wrists. Shoulders back away from the ears and start pushing from the shoulders all the way back into the heels to make a nice strong plank pose. Exhaling down to lower push-up, maybe staying halfway up if you need to. Legs strong as you inhale, lift into up dog, keep pushing into the heels, keep the legs active here. And then use the core to exhale, lift the hips up and back into the downward dog. Shoulders still rolling out away from the ears. Palms pushing out into the mat as if you're trying to move it away. Straight line as much as you can from the wrist up to your hips. And if you have a round back in this pose right now, you can bend the knees a little bit to emphasize the lengthening of the spine. Otherwise, the heels are trying to sink down a little bit at a time. You don't want to tense the neck up in this pose, create a little more tension in the back. So keep the neck soft, gaze towards the toes. Breathe nice and deep. Follow the breath inside. At the end of the exhale, bend the knees, gaze between, lunging left foot forward first, right foot follows. Lengthen up halfway, reach the heart out. Exhale, fold forward, squeeze down with the core. Head lifting, legs firm as you inhale. Spin the arms open, keep the shoulders down. Exhale, hands to the side. Next round, inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach out with the chest, lower abdominals coming in as you come down. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Hands to the mat, walk or hop back to upper push-up. Push into the heels, slowly come down to lower elbows pointing behind you. Inhale, lift into the up dog, legs active, shoulders back. Exhale, use the core to reach back into down dog. Now the heels are starting to sink down a little bit more. So you're pushing from the shoulders into the mat, drawing the hips back and feeling that pressure push all the way down into the heels. And just follow the sensations all the way down. Long, deep breaths. Knuckles grounded, keep the foundation of the pose strong. At the end of the exhale, bend the knees, gaze between the hands, lunging left foot forward to the front. Right foot to follow. Legs strong as you inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Head lifts, legs firm. Push into the feet as you inhale. Reach up into the fingers. Exhale, hands to the side. Legs strong. Inhale, spin the arms open, gaze up. Keep the legs active as you exhale. Reach out, lower abs coming in once again. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen the spine, shoulders still back. Bring the hands to the mat, ground the knuckles, walk or hop the feet back, lower push-up, elbows pointing back. Inhale into the up dog, keep the legs active, tailbone sinking. Shoulders back away from the ears, heart lifting through the gate of the shoulders. Keep the knuckles grounded and then exhale, lift up and back into the down dog. Pushing from the shoulders down into the palms and feeling the straight line that's made from the wrists up to the hips and from the hips down to the heels. Pushing the hamstrings to the wall behind you to get the heels to sink down a little more. Deep, long breaths. Face is soft, jaws relaxed. Again, smiling is a nice way to keep the face soft, and it makes you look a little nicer too. At the end of the exhale, bend the knees, gaze between the hands, walk or hop your feet to the front of the mat, lengthen halfway up, reach out. Exhale, fold forward, squeeze it down a little bit further, this time forehead rounding. Head lifts, inhale, strong legs as you reach up into the fingers. Exhale, hands down to the side. Let's take a few breaths in the mountain pose here. Shoulders resting, crown lifting, legs active. Make sure the arches of the feet stay lifted to support the inside of the legs. We're going to come into Sun Salutation B. There's a little more movement here. Keep up as best you can. Inhale the hands in front of the heart, prayer position. Exhale, bend the knees. Brush the fingertips to the floor if you can. As you inhale, the hands up, shoulders stay back. Exhale, lift up and fold forward into the next sun salute. Inhale up halfway, lengthen the spine. Hands to the mat, walk or hop back, lower push-up once again. Inhale, up dog, right through the gate of the shoulders, shoulders back. Exhale, back into the down dog. Now you want to stay on the ball of the left foot, right foot lunging between your hands. Keep the knee right above the ankle. Knee is lined up with the toes straight ahead. Arch of the foot lifting in front, ball of the foot grounded. Now shoulders back, chest is proud. And you want to push from your inner groin all the way into the back heel as if you're pushing against a wall. Deep, long breathing. Gaze is fixed in front of you. Keep that foundation strong here, pushing into both feet. And then slowly exhale, lift the hips up, take the leg back into the downward dog. Next round here, stay on the ball of the right foot, left foot lunging forward, gracefully. Knee is above the ankle directly. Knee still lined with the toes, pushing into the front foot. From inner groin into back heel, stabilize that back leg, try to keep it straight. Avoid rounding the shoulders and sinking the chest down. We want to keep a proud chest in this pose. Feel the connection your legs are making to the mat. Deep breaths. Legs active. And then exhale, lift the hips up a little bit, take the leg back into downward dog. Nice long spine here, reach the hips back a little bit further. And at the end of the exhale, bend the knees, gaze between, walk or hop to the front of the mat, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold forward, squeezing down. Bending the knees, keeping the hips low as you inhale, the hands back up into the chair pose. Exhale, lift up, hands to the side. Inhale, hands in front of the heart, next round. Exhale, bend the knees, brush the fingertips to the floor as you inhale, the hands up, shoulders back. Exhale, lift up and fold forward. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen the spine. Hands to the mat, walk or hop the feet back, lower push-up position. Inhale, lift into the up dog, arms and legs engaged, heart is lifting. Exhale, core is helping you lift up and back into the down dog. Staying on the ball of the left foot once again, right foot lunging forward, keeping it on the right side of the mat a little bit, not directly center. Knee above ankle, arch of the foot lifting. Foundation has to be strong here, so both legs active like we did before. Now we have the option of coming hands up onto the thighs. Both hips squared to the front still, lifting pubic bone, abdominals, and heart. Shoulders back. Maybe, if you feel stable, you take the elbows back to open up the chest and shoulders. But we're not just raising our hands up in the air, we're drawing back so we feel an opening of the chest here. Legs still active. Every inhale, you're lifting the heart up a little more. Inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale slowly, hands back down. Take the legs back to the lower push-up position. Inhale into the up dog. Exhale back into the down dog. Stay on the ball of the right foot, this time left foot gracefully lunging forward to the front. Keep it on the left side of the mat, arch lifting. Before you ever come up, make sure the foundation is nice and strong. It doesn't make sense to come up before then. If you're ready, hands to thigh. Don't let all the weight push onto the thigh here. The hands are just there for stability. Hips squared to the front of your mat, pubic bone lifting, abdominals lifting, heart lifting. Back leg is as straight as possible. Maybe if the stability is there, you take the arms back. Nice warrior pose, nice and strong. Warriors are proud. Just because we're warriors doesn't mean we can't smile, though. Inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale, hands down flat, lift the hips, take the leg back slowly, lower push-up, elbows pointing back. Inhale, lift, nice and proud, upward dog. Exhale, back into the down dog. Hold it here. We're coming into our core strengthening segment now. Now we're going to inhale to the upper push-up position. Exhale all the way down onto the belly. We're going to come into the crocodile pose first. So elbows underneath the shoulders. Use palms to elbow as a measuring device. Then take the hands out in front, interlace the fingers. You want to keep the forearms pressing down into the mat, shoulders back away from the ears. Now curl the toes under and push from the shoulders all the way back into the heels. So activate the entire body all the way along. So you're pushing from the shoulders all the way back, glutes, legs active against the heels. So this is a great teacher for the lower push-up position. Keep the body active. Now option if you want to go a little bit further here is to take left leg up into the air maybe. Keep pushing to the right heel, keep pushing the left as well. Maybe if you want to challenge yourself a little more, take right arm out as well. Stabilize the pose with your core. Deep breaths. And then exhale, arm down, foot down. Other side maybe, right heel lifting. Option just to stay with that, or left hand reaching out as well. Deep, long breathing, reaching out with both limbs. Activating the entire body, and then exhale, hand down, foot down. Take a few more breaths here, pushing back into the heels. And then exhale, come back down onto the knees first. Take the hands back so you can come into the downward dog. Toes curled, hips lifting. Stretching out a little bit, rolling the shoulders out, pushing into the mat as you draw the hips back, heels down. And then inhale to the upper push-up position. Hold it here for a little bit, plank pose. Pushing from shoulders and heels like we were in the crocodile. Option to come down to lower push-up now, maybe halfway, maybe all the way. Shoulders stay back away from the ears, elbows pointing behind you, legs active. Keep pushing, entire body working together. Inhale, lift into the up dog, nice and strong. Exhale, use the core to lift back up into the downward dog. Nice strong pose, take a few breaths here. We're going to be coming into our side plank pose now. Bringing the right knee down to the mat and the left heel, so knee, toe, and heel are lined as well at the hand, so you're in one plane. Left hand reaching right up and towards the ceiling. Shoulders back. Maybe staying with this option if you need to for now, or taking the right leg out, left foot on top of right as if you're standing on the floor, pushing into the heels. One hand reaching out away from the other, maybe gazing up. Option to take that left leg up. Option, maybe binding with the hands even. Deep breaths. Strong bodies. Faces soft. And then exhale, slowly come back down. Make your way into the downward dog from there. Coming into the other side now. Left knee down onto the mat. Right heel down. Right hand reaching up into the air. So grip that floor at the left as you reach up at the right. Maybe now left foot comes out. Right foot on top of left. As if you're pushing into the heels now. Option to take the foot up. Legs strong, arms strong, focused. And then exhale, slowly come back down. Back into the down dog. Take a few breaths here. At the end of the next exhale, bend the knees, gaze between the hands, walk or hop your feet to the front of the mat, lengthen up halfway, reach out. Exhale, fold forward, legs active. Pushing into the fork or the right foot here as you inhale, the left heel up into the air. Take it straight up, spine rounding forward. Lower abs in. Inhale, lift the foot up a little higher. Exhale, bring it parallel to the mat. At your own pace here, whenever you're ready, push into the right foot, inhale, reach the heart out into balancing jet airplane, hips squared. Gaze is fixed. Breath is deep. And then hands to hips. Inhale, lift the heart up, bend the knee, extend the foot out in front using core strength here, core strength. Pushing into the lower abdominals, down the inside of the leg, right into the ball of the foot. Separate the toes. Activate the leg. Chest is proud. Face is soft. Inhale, lift the foot up. Exhale, bend the knee, reach it back as the heart comes forward into balancing jet airplane once again. Standing legs strong as you exhale, hands down towards the mat. Inhale, lift the heel up. Exhale, float it back down. Taking a little breather here, bend the knees, relax the upper body, just a few breaths. Regain that connection to your breathing here now. Straightening out the legs without locking them, pushing into the left foot nice and strong as you inhale the right heel up into the air. Spine rounding as much as you can without cutting off the breath. Hips squared. Push into that left foot as you inhale, lift the heel up. Exhale, parallel to the mat. Standing legs strong as you inhale, reach the heart away from the navel. Hands are reaching back. Spine is reaching out. Hands coming to hips now as you inhale, lift the heart, bend the knee as you extend the foot out in front. Standing legs strong, lower abs in, pushing down the inside of the leg to the ball of the foot. Doesn't matter how high the foot comes up. The effort that counts here. Smiling now as you inhale, lift it up a little higher. Exhale, slowly bend the knee, extend the foot back, reach it back as you reach out with the heart. And then exhale, hands down towards the mat. Inhale, lift the heel up. Exhale, float it back down. Legs strong as you inhale, come up to the halfway mark, lengthen the spine. Exhale, folding forward. Bending the knees, keep the hips low as you inhale, the hands up into the chair pose. Exhale, lift up and fold, reach out with the heart. Inhale up to the halfway mark, lengthen. Hands to the mat, walk or hop the feet back, lower push-up. Inhale, upward dog, lift up. Exhale, back into the down dog. We'll be coming into our warrior lunges now, so keep staying on the ball of the left foot as the right foot comes forward between your hands, this time centering the foot a little bit more. Knee above ankle, left heel comes down to the mat so it's somewhat in line with the right, toes pointing to the side. Ground the outside edge of the back foot so there's space between the arch of your back foot and the floor. Press into both feet as you inhale, lift up into the warrior pose, hips squared to the front, shoulders down, arms reaching up. And then when you're ready, exhale into warrior two, gazing over the right fingers, shoulders relaxed, chest is open to the side. Deep, long breaths. You want to keep pushing into both feet, thighs rotating outwards, shoulders resting, hands extending out. So use that rebounding energy from the floor to lengthen and extend out. Deep, long breaths, spine is tall, back foot grounded. Push into the four corners of the back foot as you exhale, right elbow resting onto the right thigh, left hand extending out all the way past the head, nose into the armpit, keep the back of the neck long, open the heart up. Push into the back foot, heart opening, lengthening. Option now to bring the hand down in front of the foot if you want to go a little bit deeper. Or if you're a little more familiar with the pose, you can come into the binding option. Right hand underneath the thigh, left hand from behind the back. Interlacing the fingers here and using the arm to open up that shoulder towards the ceiling. As much as you can, you want to try to keep the right hip underneath you, left hip on top, back leg strong. Exhale, look down, release the bind. Knee stays above the ankle as you inhale, come back up into Warrior Two, keep the shoulders down. Right palm faces the ceiling, left hand slides down the leg as you inhale up into Exalted Warrior, keeping the knee above the ankle. Back hand is just there. It's not supporting the pose, both legs are active to support the pose. Feel the connection from your hip bone all the way up into the fingers, gazing up at that palm. Press into both feet, inhale, reach up into the fingers. Exhale, windmill the hands back down to the mat, point the heel back, take the leg back to down dog. Take a breath here. And then other side, stay on the ball of the right foot, left foot coming forward between your hands, more towards the center. Right heel comes down, both legs active. Whenever you feel stable, inhale up to Warrior One. Shoulders down, heart lifting, and then exhale, Warrior Two. Legs active, thighs rotating out as if you're moving your hips away from each other. Shoulders resting. Nice strong warrior lunge here. Face is still soft though. Pushing into the back edge of the foot as you exhale, elbow to thigh, right hand extending out, straight line from the back foot to the fingers, nose into the armpit, gaze up towards the ceiling. Tailbone is tucking in a little bit as you open the heart up. Option to take the hand down to the floor, or option to come into the bind if you feel comfortable with it. Open that shoulder up towards the ceiling as much as you can. Keep the knee above the ankle, arch of the back foot lifting. If the arch is collapsing, then lift the hips up a little higher to ground the outside edge of the foot. Exhale, release the bind, gaze down. Push into both feet as you inhale, come back up into Warrior Two, knee stays above the ankle, spine is tall. Left palm facing the ceiling, right hand sliding down the back of the leg as you inhale up into Exalted Warrior. Keep the knee down in the lunge, keep the back leg active, and lift from the hip up to your fingers here. Legs active, inhale, reach up into the fingers, exhale, slowly swoop the fingers back down, point the heel back, take the leg back into down dog. Take a moment here. Deep breaths. We're going to be coming into our crow pose, so just come down onto the knees now. Hands about shoulder length apart. Elbows bent to make a platform for the knees. And then what you're doing is you're squeezing the knees onto the back of the arms. So you place the platform, you grip the floor with your hands, squeeze the back of the arms at the knees, gaze forward as you draw your chest forward, hips up, maybe pointing one set of toes back, maybe both sets today, or maybe you keep both sets down and just play with your balance a little bit, get familiar with the pose. Core is active. Now if you want to, if you feel stable in the pose you've been practicing for a while, try hopping back into plank, focusing on the hips rather than the legs. Or you can try practicing hopping from down dog into the crow pose. And fear is often a factor here, but if you fall, good for you because that'll reduce the fear factor. Just play, have fun with it. Whether you get into it or not is not the point. Stability, focus. It's not about how big your muscle fibers are. There's option to come into the one-legged crow as well. So you stabilize one leg, and then you draw the other leg back, chest forward to counterbalance. Playing, that's all it is, just playing. All right, and then come into the child's pose for a little bit here. Take a little breather. Knees about shoulder length apart. Give the arms and shoulders a chance to rest. Take a few deep breaths here. Let the shoulders relax with the exhale. Deep breaths here, relaxing the shoulders. Take 3 more deep breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly start to roll the spine up with the help of the hands. And eventually, once you come up to a tall spine, swing your feet out in front, come onto your seat. Roll the shoulders out a little bit if you need to. We're going to be coming to our boat pose, common core pose you see in yoga classes. Hands back about 10 inches to start. And when we're working with our core, it's on the inside of the lower abdominals, down the inside of the leg to the ball of the foot. So heart is lifted, nice and proud, shoulders back. Bring the feet up halfway, knees bent, knees together. Push out into the balls of the feet. Activate the legs. Maybe legs straight out now if you want to. Maybe hands come out to the side. Heart stays lifted. If the back starts to round, keep the hands behind the legs or behind your back. And then exhale, cross the right foot over the left, hands flat to the side. Using core strength, inhale, lift the pelvis up or whatever lifts off the mat. Exhale, back down, number 2. Legs up halfway or straight, but spine stays tall. So you want to keep the heart lifting, shoulders back. Exhale, cross left foot over, hands down. Inhale, pick up. Maybe keeping the feet on the mat today if you need to. Exhale, down, last side. Inhale, lift up. Option to keep the hands behind the legs if you find the back rounding. Proud chest now, collarbones exposed. Exhale, right foot crosses over, hands down. Inhale, pick it up. Exhale, back down, shake it out. And then lie down on your back slowly. Hands to the side of the mat here. Inhale, take the legs up 90 degrees. Straight up. Push up into the balls of the feet as if somebody is pushing back at you. So you want to feel that connection all the way through. Slowly open up the legs into a split position. Keep pushing out into the balls of the feet, and then hands come between your legs here. Try to lift both shoulder blades off the floor for a crunch. Option to lift the glutes up a little higher if you want to for a complete crunch. Legs still active, face soft, breathing deeply. Inhale, reach out with the fingers a little further. Exhale, slowly come back down. Inhale, the legs up 90 degrees. Keep the inside of the legs active as you take the left foot down about a foot off the floor. Right foot straight up, both legs still active, both hands to the outside of the right leg. Now use mental effort here, consciously contracting the obliques to lift both shoulder blades off the mat, like a side crunch. So legs active, straight as much as you can. A little bit of shaking is okay, it means the nerve system's catching up. Smiling keeps the body strong. Genuine smiling, that is. Now inhale, lift up a little higher. Exhale, the head back down. Inhale, the left leg up. Right foot down a foot off the floor now. Both legs active. Inhale to the outside of the left leg this time. Both shoulder blades as much as you can lifting. It's a side crunch. Use the obliques. Use the obliques. Touch my hands. Lift up. Yeah. Exhale, head down, leg up. Hands to the side. We're not done yet. Hands underneath the hips. We're not done yet. Hands underneath the hips. Chin right into the chest. So bring the head off the mat. Option if you want to make it a little more challenging, hands beside the head. Slowly coming down for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Oh, that was a good one, wasn't it? Extend the hands back a little bit, reach the toes out in the opposite direction. We got one more core here on our back. We're going to bring the knees up into a chair position. We're going to cross the right knee over the left thigh into eagle legs if we can, as much as we can over. Knees stay above the hips, pushing out into the balls of the feet. Now, hands together, pushing into the right thigh. The knees are drawing in, the palms are pushing back, and the heart is lifting right up towards the ceiling rather than towards the knees. So pushing with the palms, lifting up with the heart, resisting with the knees, lower abs tucking in a little bit now. So pushing, lifting, resisting. Knees are drawing back in. Now push, 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 push. You can make some faces now if you have to. Push, push, exhale, release. Oh, that one feels warm in the gut. We got the other side to do though. Oh yeah, there's two sides to this one. So knees back up into a chair. Left knee over right thigh this time, as much as you can into eagle legs. Actively pushing into the balls of the feet. Palms to thigh now. So your palms are pushing, your thighs are resisting, they're fighting back and forth, nobody's winning. Heart is lifting up to the ceiling now. So palms and knees fighting back and forth, heart is lifting, lower abs tucking in. We got to use those arms this time now, so push, push, resist, lift. Come on, push it a little harder now. Push it, push it, push it, push it. Exhale down. Oh, good job. That's what I want to see. All right, toes in one direction, hands back. Just stretch from one end to the other. You didn't think the core segment was going to be easy, did you? And then exhale the knees to the outside of the chest. For happy baby pose, to release the abdominals a little bit, either heels pointing straight up to the ceiling to draw the knees down, or if you can't point the heels straight up, keep the knees bent to draw the knees down. Knees drawing down, tailbone staying low, head relaxed, but let the belly now expand as much as you can between your thighs. Deep breaths into the belly. Let it expand. Release those abs. Two more breaths here. And then slowly let the knees come, release the heels, let the knees come in. Hug them in closely, forehead to knee here, maybe just a couple of breaths. Before you roll over to the right side, come up to a seated position, and continue moving down onto your belly, and take a little breather here. Right ear to the mat, hands alongside your body, big toes together, heels fall open. Stay in your body, breathe into the lower back, feel it come up and down with the breath. So we're coming into the lower back strengthening, just as important as the core and often neglected. We're coming up into our lizard pose first, so chin to the front, hands to the side of the shoulders rather than behind them, and out a little further away so the wrists are right underneath the elbows. So you're making a little rectangular shape with your arms. Keep the left leg relaxed, right heel pointing up towards the ceiling. Whenever you're ready, keeping the hip bones grounded, inhale, lift the heart up, lift the heel up, using hamstring and glute here to help lift that heel. So mentally go into the back muscles there. Toes down, heel up. Heart lifting as much as you can without pinching the lower back. Deep breaths. Into the mat, inhale, lift up a little higher. Exhale slowly down, right leg down. Relax the right leg, left heel up this time. Hips stay grounded. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the heel. Use those hamstrings here, just like you would contract your bicep. Contract the hamstring to use it to lift the heel up a little higher. Shoulders back, forehead relaxed, jaw relaxed. Inhale, lifting the heart, lifting the heel. Exhale, slowly come back down, rest. Left ear to the mat, hands alongside you. Bring the big toes together, let the heels fall. Take some deep breaths into the lower back so you, even though the body is resting, you stay inside. Follow the breath. We're coming into a two-legged version now. Hands this time, so chin to the front, hands stay behind you. Fingers point to the front, but hands a little closer to the hips. Option to keep the legs straight out or point both heels up towards the ceiling, toes down. And as much as you can here, inhale, lift the heart, lift the heels, or just legs lifting. The straight leg option is slightly easier, a little less tension on the lower back. Keep the shoulders back, chest open. Back of the head long, pressing into the mat with the hands. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, back down slowly. Right ear to the mat, hands alongside you. Take a breather. Resting here, relaxing, breathing into the lower back. Deep, long breaths. And feel how that lower back settles down with the exhale. We're switching now from back strengthening to back bending. So in this case, you'll be using arm strength and leg strength so that the spine can release and go deeper into the bend. So cobra pose, hands behind the shoulders, elbows close into the rib cage, feet stay grounded, hips stay grounded, and elbows stay bent with the cobra pose. So gripping the floor with the hands, rolling the heels out a little bit. As you inhale, lift the heart through the gate of the shoulders, tailbone sinking down, heart lifting, shoulders back away from the ears as you lift the heart right through the gate, keeping the back of the neck long. Arms are working, legs are working, heart is lifting through the gate of the shoulders here. 2 more breaths. Grip the floor with the hands. Inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale, slowly come back down. We're going to come right into the bow pose. Option to stay with the cobra if you need to. So if you're coming into bow, grabbing hold of the feet. If you're a little more flexible, you grab the shins and you flex the feet so that the heels point up. Knees about a little bit wider than the hips. Preset the shoulders back behind you. And whenever you're ready, inhale, lift right up into the bow. Feet are pushing up into the wall behind you. Shoulders are open, heart is lifting. Deep, long inhalations. Use the strength of the legs to open up the heart here. 1 more, inhale, lift right up. Exhale, slowly come back down. Make your way slowly, take a little breather here. We got a few more back bends to go. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Pick yourself up into table position. Avoid the child's pose. Avoid the forward folding motion. Come right down onto your spine for the bridge pose. So lay back. Bring the heels in towards your hips. Feet about hip width apart, toes pointing directly ahead. Make a 90-degree angle with your elbows, fingers pointing right up towards the ceiling. So you want to ground elbows and shoulders, keeping them grounded. Press into the 4 corners of the feet. As you exhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling, chest towards your chin. Try to keep the glutes somewhat soft here so the tailbone can tuck in. Thighs rounding in towards each other a little bit so you can ground the inside edges of the feet. So you're pressing into the 4 corners, lifting the hips up, belly expanding. Deep breaths. Pushing into the feet as you inhale, lift up a little bit higher, lift up. Exhale, slowly roll down from the top down to the bottom. Take a little breather here. We're coming now into the wheel pose, so option to stay with the bridge if you need to. There's a little intermediate step we like to come into to make sure we're ready to come into the full wheel pose. So bringing hands beside the ears, elbows pointing back. When you're ready, lift up onto the crown of the head as long as your cervical spine's okay. Line the elbows up so they point in the same direction as the shoulders. And then from here, when you're ready, lift right up into the wheel. Gazing down at the hands, pushing into the feet, opening up the shoulders, and then separating the midsection of the body. Toes pointing directly in front. Inhale, lift up. Exhale down slowly. Come back slow. We'll do it one more time. This time you can come right into the full version if you're ready. Hands beside the ears, last time. Keep the toes pointing directly in front. Whenever you're ready, on the exhale, lift right up. Gaze stays down to keep the chest open. Shoulders opening up, pressing into the feet, into the arms, opening up the midsection. Press into the limbs as you inhale, lift up. Exhale, slowly come back down. Now lightly hugging the knees into the chest without lifting the tailbone off the mat. Just a light hugging in. And maybe little circular motions with the lower back or rocking a little bit from side to massage the lower spine. We're going to come into a laying spinal twist from here. So take the legs up, shift the hands out to the side. Shift the hips over to the right side of the mat about 2 or 3 inches. This time legs come straight up into the air, 90 degrees, like an L shape. Slowly as you exhale, let the legs come down to the left side. Take your time. Left leg is going to go right down to the floor, right heel up a little higher, but they're parallel to each other. Pushing from pelvis into the right heel. Right heel up a little bit higher. Deep breaths. Keep the foot lifted, pushing from pelvis into heel, lengthening. Three more deep breaths here. Bending the knees a little bit as you inhale, come all the way back up. You can bring your feet down to shift your hips over to the left side of the mat this time, a couple of inches. Then legs back up 90 degrees. Slowly, as you exhale, let the legs fall over to the right side this time. Right leg down on the mat, left leg up a little bit higher, pushing from pelvis into heel. Feet are parallel to each other. Deep breathing. Feeling that opening in the lower back with this pose. Three more deep breaths here. Bending the knees, inhaling, coming back up to the center position. Eventually hugging the knees in with the hands, tailbone lifting, tractioning the lower back, maybe forehead up to knees. Take a few deep breaths here, and then whenever you're ready, roll over to the right side and come up to a seated position. Use the left hand to help you up. We're going to finish off this sequence with the west stretch. So legs out in front, feet flat as if they're against a wall. Take the flesh out from underneath. Push out into the four corners of the feet as you inhale. Lift up. Exhale, fold forward, reach out and lengthen. Deep, long inhalations. Round back, let it go, let it sink. Option to sit up on a block or a cushion if you ever need to, so that you can help tilt the pelvic bowl forward a little bit more. Deep, long inhalations here, resting and relaxing with everyone. Just follow that breath down the entire back line of the body. "30 seconds left, 5 deep breaths. And then slowly, with the help of the hands, start to walk the spine up. And keep using the hands to make your way all the way back down onto the spine. Getting ready for final relaxation. Legs extend out. Separate the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Toes fall. Hands away from your body a little bit, palms up. Separating the shoulder blades. Lengthening the back of the neck. And just consciously relax the entire body into the mat, starting from the toes, working your way up. Allow the legs to sink down. Allow the knees to rest. Relaxing the quads and hamstrings. No more tension in the hips or pelvis. The entire spine resting into the mat, and all the inner organs following one by one. No more tension in the shoulders or neck. Everything's resting into the mat. And as the back of the head sinks down, start to soften the features of the face. Relaxing the eyes, maybe a little bit of space between the teeth to rest the jaw. And just sink down into relaxation, letting go of any thoughts that you're attached to, as if you're watching them from far away, just observing, giving the mind and body a chance to rest. They can put the benefits of the practice together. Namaste.